Welcome to the Incubate India initiative, powered by Ientra. Today we are going to discuss the different types of valuation. There are several types of valuation methods, but the most commonly used ones are comparable company analysis, discounted cash flow analysis, precedent transaction analysis, asset-based valuation. Here's an oversimplified explanation of each type of valuation with an example. Comparable company analysis. This method involves comparing the financial metrics of a company to similar companies in the same industry to determine its value. For example, suppose you want to buy a used car, and you are not sure how much it is worth. One way to determine its value is to compare it to similar cars that are being sold in the market. You might look at factors such as the make and model, mileage, age, and condition of the car, and compare it to other similar cars that are being sold in the same area. By doing so, you can arrive at a more accurate valuation for the car based on how it compares to other similar cars in the market. Discounted cash flow analysis. This method involves estimating the future cash flows that a company will generate and then discounting those cash flows to their present value. For example, imagine you invested Rs 50,000 to start a juice shop that generates an annual revenue of Rs 180,000 at Rs 15,000 per month. In this scenario, you cannot determine the value of your business based on its assets alone. Instead, you need to consider the earnings generated over a period of time to arrive at a more accurate valuation. This approach is essential when valuing businesses that rely more on their earning potential than on their physical assets. Precedent transaction analysis. This method involves looking at past transactions in the industry, such as mergers and acquisitions, to determine the value of a company. For example, if you want to value a tech startup, you might look at recent acquisitions of similar startups in the industry and use those transaction prices as a benchmark for the startup's value. Asset-based valuation. This method involves determining the value of a company based on its physical assets, such as property, equipment, and inventory. For example, suppose you want to purchase an old manufacturing facility that is not generating any revenue. In such a case, you cannot evaluate it based on its earnings. Instead, you would need to assess its value based on other factors such as the value of the land, machinery, building, and inventory it possesses. Each of these valuation methods has its own strengths and weaknesses, and companies often use a combination of them to arrive at a more accurate valuation. Now that you have a basic understanding of the different types of valuation methods and why valuation is important, it's important to remember that valuation is not an exact science. It requires a lot of research, analysis, and judgment. That's all for today's lesson on valuation methods. We hope you found it helpful. Thanks for watching. Incubate India Initiative, concept videos powered by Ientra.